Hey guys, what is up? So I just wanted to kind of take you guys on a trip through time of what the pigs have done. I know I keep talking through and going through, you know, hey, this is how many days it's been and this is what it looks like, but I think it would be good to kind of run you guys through all the places that they've been to really show you the impact that they and some of the goats have had. So this is where they are today. So probably been about 5-ish days here. It's all tilled up, torn up, looking really, really good, right? So now we'll go to the spot where they were previously, which is right up here. So looking pretty similar. I haven't done much with or touched that much since they started tilling that up, because I haven't been able to just get in there and get anything done, other priorities. But this is part of that same area, and the goats are cleaning this up. And then about 10 days prior to that spot, they were in this next area that I'm going to show you. So that is this area. And so everything's torn up. The goats came in here and did a lot of work, and then I came in and I started cutting down some of the trees and stuff over here that I don't want, and cutting up some of the briars here that were still in the ground that hadn't been pulled up by the pigs. And then prior to that, about 10 days earlier than that, they were in this next spot, which I didn't sow grass seed here and I wish I would have, but they were in this spot. So you can see, oh, actually there is a little bit of grass seed in here. There's grass growing right there. I probably just didn't follow my process very well, or maybe we didn't get rain, but there's still some growth here that I need to take care of, but it's tilled up pretty good. The ground's torn up really well. And you can see we're starting to get a little bit of new growth in here, and some regrowth on the trees and twigs and stuff that I cut down or snapped in half. Then 10 days prior to that is this next section, which is right here. And this I did a good job of sowing seed in. Actually my kids did it, so maybe I should just have them sow the seed from now on, or at least one of them did it. They probably put it on a little bit too thick, but you can see, one, we've got stuff growing back on the trees. We've got a good amount of grass growing in here, and we've got new plants popping up out of the ground here as well. The grass is still fairly short, so still a lot of work to be done there as far as just, you know, things growing in. Then we're on to the next area, which is right in here, through here, which you can see there's some more grass growing in here pretty well. You can see the difference in growth, one, because there's less overstory up here, but two, it's just been longer that this has been without pigs on it. You can see there's a little bit more new plant growth and things happening here. And then about 10 days prior to that, you have this section on the other side of this little berm here. And this is before I had 2 fences in, so it's a smaller area, before I had 2 sets of electrical netting. And you can see there's a ton of growth happening here where I can send the, honestly, I don't want a lot of this. Like, I don't really care about having more tulip poplars in this area right now. And you can see, I mean, this is brand new. It's still green all the way down. It looks like this one's actually popping up out of an existing one that I chopped down. But I can bring the goats in here and just have them eat that up, and it will be great. There's some grass growing over here. It's getting a little bit taller, but still not anything crazy. And then 10 days prior to that is this spot. So same thing, some new growth coming up in different areas, but you can see the grass is just way taller, and I sowed it pretty thick over here, so it is really fairly thick, and I mean just looking really good. And you've got some things growing back in the stumps that I had chopped up over here, And I mean, this is what I want it all to look like one day. Maybe it never will. We'll see. Time will tell. But then next is this area right here. I'm gonna back up to the far side of it so I can just point it out to you. So this spot, which goes all the way to just before that where the trash can was. This is where they were 10 days prior to that last spot. So there's like the little dirt spot here. Everything on this side is where they were previously. So you can see good grass growth. That spot tends to get a little more light, so that's probably why the grass is growing a little bit better. And I did re-sow some seed in here previously. Now I do think there's some stuff in here that I maybe don't want. No, I don't think that's the stiltweed. I think that's something else. I need to come back and actually see what this stuff right here is. I'm not sure. But then 10 days prior to that, they were in this section, which doesn't get as much light, but you can see things are starting to grow back fairly well. Somewhere in the middle, in between, they were over there. I can't remember exactly where that fell in the pattern, but sometime in that time period they were over there for a bit. And then the very first spot that they were was this section. And you can see there's a lot of new plant growth over here from where there was just soil disturbance. The grass is getting pretty tall back there. I'll walk over and take a look at it in a second. We've got, what do we have over here? I think this is goldenrod. Is that what that was over there too? Just smaller? I don't know, but this is definitely goldenrod. This is, I think, like fox grape, native species. That's a tulip poplar. No, that's not a tulip poplar. What is that? That is a sassafras. That's sassafras. That is sassafras. So, just, you know, tons of native good stuff coming back. And then we also have the grass over here at this point going to seed. So, you know, this is, the math isn't perfect. It's about 10 days for each spot, but a few months of time, we went from what you saw in the beginning where it's just tilled up dirt and just everything torn up and destroyed, through that timeline, right? We're working backwards from where they are now to the timeline of the present, but it can eventually become this, where you have some native species growing back, you have some grass growing back that's going to seed, and it didn't really take that long. It may have taken a few months, right? We got the pigs in March, so a few months, but part of that was when they were stuck in here and they weren't being moved around, so it would take less than 3 months to really get there, I think. But it's just crazy the amount of progress that you can make, especially when you consider this area. Granted, some of this was human involvement, cutting down the trees and stuff, but all of it was just grown up and crazy and nasty looking. Same thing over here and back where we were, all the way down to, you could see once we were at the bottom of the hill with the pigs, it was a little bit closer to being that way, right? When you were inside the woods, it was grown up a little bit. There's some briars. There's just like vines and just some nastiness in there. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to take you guys through that timeline and show you that how far we've come. Because it's just crazy. Some days I walk out here and I'm like, when you're doing it, it seems like you're never going to get to where you're making progress. And now I walk outside every day and I just see an amazing amount of progress, and it's just really cool. So anyway, hopefully that helps you guys, and I'll catch you all next time.